let's go right now live to, it appears this is Chief Johnny Jennings from CMPD. He is at a forum this morning, speaking at the Sarah Stevenson Forum. Let's listen in live. That is underway now on Live Impact News.
And the riots and everything started coming, just moving over to Charlotte. And my first thought was, what have I done? what have I gotten into here? And it's funny because as I was being sworn in and becoming the next chief and kind of taking some of those roles over before I was even sworn in, I had a lot of people say, man, you picked the worst time to be the police chief. Mm-hmm. And my response did, no, I think I picked the best time to be the police chief, because I had in my mind the challenges prior to being sworn in of, we've had some great police chiefs, Darrell Stevens, Rodney Monroe, Kerr Putney, and how am I gonna follow in that path of some of the work that they've done and how I'm gonna continue that? Well, when all of that started happening with the civil unrest across the country, I realized that, hey, this is a new challenge. This is something different that we have to look at things differently. I can't now look at what the prior chiefs did and try to build on that. I have to wipe the slate clean and we have to start over. Mm-hmm. And we have to start figuring out how do we, everything that they have done to build relationships with our community seemed like it was erased and wiped away. And so now it's almost a building that's been torn down and you have to start from scratch and start that foundation and build it up and build it up and build it up. And that was exciting to me. It was exciting to think that this is on me now, that we can start from scratch and build a brand new house and build it better than even it was before. So we started a lot of work. I literally, that first year, didn't know I was gonna make it. I said, I don't know how, I could have retired and be sitting at home fishing. Did you know I like to fish, or did you just say that? Somebody told you, you got your intel?
You checked the box.
I could be home fishing, or I could be in a smaller city, making more money. But the challenge there for me was that I have a job to do, and I accepted that job, and I wasn't gonna lay down and simply throw in the towel because things got tough. And I moved on to, every year I felt like, I don't know if I can do another one. And then the next year would come by and the next year, but there were challenges every single time. But I realized at some point, those challenges made me stronger. Mm-hmm. And those challenges made our community stronger. And I tell people now that the critics and the ones who made things difficult were actually the ones who made me stronger and made me a better police chief. And I wouldn't change it, because when you start to build, when they say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I think I believe in that more than I ever have. Because what I saw was during the toughest times in our city and during the toughest times in this profession, I saw a group of professionals come together and gel together because we knew we had to do this. And we knew that we were in it when it might have seemed like the whole world was against you. We came together and we continued to make our community safe. We continued to keep crime down and bring it down. Every single year, violent crime went down and continued to go down. And that was a lot of pride on my part, because the work that our men and women in blue did, even while they felt that they weren't supported, which we knew that there were plenty that did support, but when the message out there was that they weren't supported, they continued to work hard and continued to to keep our community safe. And that's what made me proud. I tell people all the time that we are the best police department in the country. And that's because I get to go out and see the other agencies. I haven't seen another agency that I said, wow, I'd like to leave Charlotte and go work there. It's just not out there. And it's kind of difficult because I try to convince my people that, hey, we have a lot of respect across the country. And unless you get out there across the country and see that, it's hard to realize that. But we have so much respect for our police department. We have other agencies that are asking us to come tell them how they do it. Other agencies that are wanting to come to Charlotte and see how we do things. We've had so many visits from agencies around the world. Seems like there's always somebody from another country that's come to Charlotte to see how we do things. So take pride in the police department that you have in our city. I've always said too that we're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes, but judge us more by how we respond to those mistakes and what we do after that. So do I keep talking or do I have more time or what?
So you have more time, but if you'd like to go to questions, we can do that.
Well, let me just finish up then. I'll just continue with, so here I am today, having served over 33 and a half years with the city of Charlotte, Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. I joined as the Charlotte Police Department. I'm the last Charlotte Police Department officer still on the force. And then you had we joined in with the Mecklenburg County Police Department. I see Ricky Robbins sitting over there. He was with Mecklenburg County. He wanted so bad to come to Charlotte, so he said, let's just merge. So we ended up merging back in the mid-90s, so now we're Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, but there's only a few of us left. I'm with the city. Ricky's still with us as a hire back. He retired a long time ago. Now he's double dipping, but he's for a little while longer, right? So he's, but anyway, it's just, there's that sense of pride that we have within our police department. So as I get ready to start that next chapter, I feel I'm at so much peace right now that it's even hard to explain. And I told my wife's probably getting sick of me because I wake up in the morning, I'm singing and I'm all happy. And she's still going to work too, and it's like, but I said, if this is how life is supposed to feel, then I'm ready. If this is how you're supposed to feel without the stress, because once you hit a certain level in this agency, I think Richard can tell you, there's so much on your shoulders, so much stress, you never put it down. You never. I could be in another country and I still can't put it down. You devote yourself and your entire life to this job, and you sacrifice so much. You sacrifice things with family, but that's what you got into it for. And your family builds that strong foundation for you that they allow you to do that. I can't, my kids and my wife have been fantastic. When the many times that I've missed sporting events, the times that I've had to get up from the dinner table because I had to leave and come into work because something had just happened. The phone calls in the middle of the night over and over again, those are still happening, by the way. So I got a few more weeks of those happening, but it's just one of those things that you devote yourself to, and you know what you signed up for. So there's no sense in complaining about it, but you have to move forward and continue to balance that somehow. But when I talk about the peace, that I think sometimes people have told me before that there's so much weight on your shoulders that you don't even realize it. You're just going and going and going. And to be honest with you, there are times you don't even have time to think about about what you're going through. You pause and you step back and you realize that, wow, I have to slow down. I have to take some time to myself, and I have to have a life outside of being a police officer. I tell my people all the time, if all you have is being a police officer, all your friends are police officers, when you hang out with police officers, you need to expand that a little bit. You need to do something outside of that, because we see and do things that normal human beings aren't supposed to see and do and be involved in. But when you can't get away from that, if all you're talking about and dealing with is police work and what you did that day, sometimes you got to drop it and set it down. I saw a few weeks ago when we had an officer-involved shooting, and this gentleman had just shot and killed 2 people, and our officers found him. He kidnapped a lady and had her in the vehicle, just to watch, we had much of it on video, to watch our officers in action just reinforced why I do this job. And it reinforced why I've been the chief for 5.5 years. Because the first thing I thought of, and Ricky was with me when we're watching the video, and you see a guy shooting at our officers, hitting our cars, officers jumping back in the car to avoid getting shot. The guy runs, and our officers chase him. And I said, who chases somebody who's shooting at you? And I said, police officers do. Police officers. And to be able to keep the people safe that are around and involved in that was just heroic to me. And even though I had already announced I'm retiring, I looked at it and I said, that's why I do this. That's why I get up every day. Because we put so much on the line, and I couldn't be more proud of our agency. And that's just one story of many in my 33.5 years. So it's just been such a great career, but I'm ready. I don't have any regrets. I don't ever look back and say, you're not gonna hear me say, I can't wait to get out of here, or I can't wait to be done, or anything like that. What you'll hear me say is, I gave it everything I had. And I know that it's time, and I know that I'm at peace with the decision to move on and start the next chapter, and I'm excited about it. So we have Stella Patterson coming back to Charlotte. Stella was my deputy chief, and I remember she and I were talking about her wanting to put in for the Raleigh Police Department, the Raleigh Chief's job, and I encouraged her to do so. And she eventually decided she was gonna put in and ended up getting the job. I don't think it was even close, but after she retired from Raleigh, and then I announced that I would be retiring, Stella's gonna be coming back to Charlotte to be our next police chief. And also another sense of pride with me that, hey, this is somebody that's an internal person who left, as the city manager said, we loaned her to Raleigh for a few years. So now that she's coming back, we're gonna be in really good hands. So proud of that as well. But I'm gonna shut up and answer some questions, but just know that I've been so proud to be your police chief for the last 5.5 years, and even more proud to have served our great city and county for the last 33.5. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Now, Chief Jennings is
Chief Johnny Jennings is speaking there at the Sarah Stevenson Forum. Let's go ahead and take a break here on Live Impact News on WCNC+.